On this episode of Hardcore Meteor Wrestling. Finally, George has come back to YouTube. The most electrifying space rock hunter. And if you can believe this, then you can smell the rock is cooking. It's George, and I'm back. And sometimes you gotta try to have a little bit of fun. I like to watch wrestling, so I did that little thing, the Hardcore Meteor. But the main reason I'm dedicating this is to the wrestling thing is I'm going to be showing you my new find, the Undertaker. But first, we're going to go through some pictures here, okay? Now, people keep saying, I'm wrong, it can't be right. There's a picture of that rock. And I'm not even sure what that is, and I'm not even sure what you call it. The red and the blue and the white. Then there's this picture. All of them green dots. All them green dots, that's unmelted green olivine. See, I can get a real close-up of this stuff and look at it. There's another kind of bizarre one. But what really gets me is the colors. The colors in them. I try to find some of these colors in these rocks, and you just can't find them. Now that one's kind of unique. If I could show it live, I could spin it. The whole rock, all these crystals, they sparkle and they're loaded all the way across the rock, all the way around it when you spin it. I've never seen a rock like that before neither. Now here's another rock that I took. That's the outside of the rock. Had a whole green layer on it, but the green layer got partially melted off. This is another side of it. Probably one of the most weirdest, bizarre looking natural rocks I have ever seen in my lifetime. And I'm just trying to be honest. I can't make this stuff up. I'm finding it. And every one of them's different. You know? Then there's that one. Now this rock itself, it's hard as metal. It's hard as metal, but I don't know what blue metal. I really did. I just don't get it. That's as hard as metal. The one you're looking at right now is as hard as metal. It attracts a magnet. Then there's this one. Now that's like a bluish gray, but this rock is melted and it's metal too. Now why am I coming up with so many metal rocks? I don't know. Why am I coming up with so many metal rocks? I just don't know. But you can take, and I can pick up the rock and I can show you. I took pictures and I show you live. This is one of the most bizarre looking things I've ever seen. And this is totally green on the outside. I got another one. This one's totally green. But these are hard and heavy as all get out. And I'm not getting it. You know, a lot of what's going on here. But this brings you to the big one. The one I call the Undertaker. Now we get a full shot. We get a full shot of the Undertaker here. And I'm going to spin it. I'm going to spin it. And I'll tell you, this part broke off right here. When I was digging this out of the ground. This part broke off. But as you can see, how bizarre, how weird shaped this thing is. It's not human. It's almost like non-human. This is why I call it the Undertaker. It's almost like non-human. Now, the thing about this is all around this, it's got partial melting all around it. Not every place melted and not every place broke off. Now, you can tell this is break off right here. This ridge that goes around here. This part broke off. Same thing with this one. This ridge around here. That part broke off. And it broke off and the heat got to it and it melted. This stuff is soft. Now we'll come around, we'll look at this side. This side, the same thing. This used to be a rock. There used to be a cover all the way across here. Sort of like you'd have this. And this thing's solid metal too. This is the outer part of a rock. Now, whether people want to believe these are from space or not, that's their problem. If they don't believe, fine, you know. If you believe, okay. But this part would be on here like this. And this is how the rock would look before it comes apart. And stuff like this would break off. And this is the point that I'm trying to get across to people. And if you look at this side, it got heated and melted. Okay, I took pictures. I took a picture of the way the outside of this rock should look like. Okay, there are areas where it looks like this. Okay, the whole rock should look like this if it was made on Earth. This is the way the outside of the whole rock should look, but it doesn't. As you go along and you spin it, this area broke off too. This ridge all the way around here. This was covered with rock. This melted. And that's why when you look at this, you really don't see any holes. You don't see any holes like there are in this picture. When you compare it, it's melted. It got hot and it melted. Now the top part here, the top part here, it didn't really melt. It's not like this side and it's not like this side. Now, you can't tell me that this came from Mount St. Helens. I'm not buying it. Mount St. Helens does not spit rocks out like they're Tic Tacs. It doesn't chew on a rock one side and then chew on a rock another and melt it on both sides and then spit it out. That's absolutely nonsense. Now, whether people want to believe it or not, they can call me crazy. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm to the point where I just don't care. And I'm really, really surprised that experts out there and a lot of people that have been watching this, they cannot see this stuff with their eyes. I can see this stuff. I'm not an expert, but I can add 2 plus 2. And I can tell you, and you can spin the rock over. This whole thing, you look at it, it is not normal. It's not round. And everybody's saying space rocks aren't round. Okay, here you go. This one is not round. It's all damaged, dinged up, pieces broken off, and all around it. The whole rock has break spots where pieces broke off of it. Now, I really don't know what else I could say as far as trying to convince people. personally, I wish somebody would challenge me. I wish they would blow the website up so I can get to the bottom of this. Because knowing rocks and just normal rocks and everything, this stuff isn't normal. It's just not. You can look at it and tell it's not normal. But it is what it is. Now, like I said, for the people who are watching, people who are subscribing, hey, I welcome it. I even welcome the criticizing comments because I'm to the point where I don't care. You can say what you want. But personally, I think from the beginning, from day one, what I've been saying, I honestly think that's what happened. And people refuse to believe it because they've never seen anything like that. Nobody's ever seen a space debris field with meteors and meteorites in them. And nobody's ever seen a whole space rock. So if you've never seen those things before, how do you know 100% sure what I'm showing you isn't? If you've never ever seen. This is what doesn't make any sense. And why those two things are left out, not taught about, why everybody just goes from a meteorite or from a meteor in the sky straight to a meteor or meteorite. They go from meteor to a meteorite, and that's it. Whole space rocks that make it to Earth and debris fields are never talked about. No videos, no nothing. And I find that totally bizarre. It just doesn't make sense. But like I said, I keep coming up with this weird stuff. And we'll call that good. We'll call that good.